All right, welcome everyone. We are going to have a unique experience with virtual simulations and allow a few people to have an opportunity to apply what you've learned in your previous mental health first aid. My name's Beth Ash, and I work at Bowling Green State University. I'm a grant program manager, and I work with the software that we're going to see called Mersion. That's one of the things that I do here. Um, Jared?
Hi, yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. My name is Jared Mariani. I am the lead simulation specialist at Bowling Green State University. So I guess I will be the man behind the curtain today for you all.
I'll go next. I'm Janet Cora. I'm the Mental Health First Aid Collaborative Director, which is managed by where I work, Mental Health America of Northern Kentucky and Southwest Ohio. And Jared, I just saw Wicked, the movie, so I'm all about the man behind the curtain. But anyhow, welcome. I'm hoping you guys are really enjoying today's a chance to practice your algae skills and give feedback and debrief, because we can do this again if the evaluations back from you guys are positive and you're like, yes, this is very helpful, we want to do this, we plan to do this more, but it really is going to depend on what you guys, your experience is today. So make sure you fill out your post evaluations and let us know, was this helpful? Would you come back and maybe recommend it to other people that have taken the class? And so we're really excited. Beth and I think we've been planning this for what, it seems like 6 months, Beth. And it's finally here, so we're excited about today.
Right, wonderful. And likewise, I'm Bridget Swihart. I am a instructor and adult and youth instructor and work alongside Janet with the Mental Health First Aid Collaborative. And certainly I'm excited as well to have this opportunity to get to practice using our algae skills in real scenarios. So hopefully you guys will not be too intimidated and feel comfortable in this setting to practice those skills. I think that's really what this hope is, to get to utilize this new technology to practice those skills that you've learned. So welcome everybody. Janet, are you going over this just as a reminder?
Yep, sorry, my audio was stuck. So yeah, so I don't know how we asked in the pre-evaluation how long ago was it that you guys took mental health first aid? So just as a real quick debrief, if you want to raise your hand, have you taken mental health first aid in the past year, or put it in the chat, or put a little thumbs up if you guys don't want to turn your camera on, which is fine. Carolyn, the past year, Stephen, the past year. Michelle took it again in the past year. Yes. All right. So has anybody taken Joy? You've taken the past year, and Mark. Okay. So you guys are pretty fairly new mental health first aiders. Anybody taken on the other side of it? Have you taken mental health first aid more than 3 years ago? So this really is a refresher course for you. Pat, yes, you're an instructor. So yeah, I can see that. Tyria, yep, you've probably taken a long time ago. Pace, yes. So most of our instructors have taken a long time ago, but it seems like most people here are pretty new mental health first aiders, which we're thrilled about. So for all of us, the refresher is that we really are going to see the algae action plan in action today with this avatar. And so just as a refresher, and I think we're going to leave this screen up when we're talking about algae, right, Beth, is A is the assessing the risk, approaching the person. L, listen non-judgmentally. G is give reassurance and information. E is encourage appropriate professional help and encourage self-help and other support strategies. Does that all sound very familiar to you guys?
Yep.
Yes, I figured it would. So that's what we're going to look at today as we go through scenarios. We're going to apply these steps, and we're going to really debrief what steps have we seen as the person talks to the avatar. Okay, I think that's all I need to do.
Mhm.
All right, so as Janet mentioned, we're gonna have some volunteers have the opportunity to apply algae. We're gonna have avatars who are experiencing some sort of mental health crisis. This will be a live interaction. Someone had asked when we were starting up if it's AI. It is not AI. It's a mixed reality. So, I mean, there's definitely a virtual component. There's avatars on the screen, but there is a person behind the avatars. So, our sim specialist can see you, can hear you, and it will be a live responsive interaction. So as you're going through algae, the avatar will respond accordingly based on what you're doing. So we're gonna, like I said, see a few scenarios and have a chance to apply those strategies.
All right, and I think I'm going to go over the first scenario. So the first scenario, Bridget has very bravely volunteered to be our first guinea pig, but we're going to try to do we'll do Miss Olivia here with Bridget, and then we'll do Miss Olivia again. So we're looking for a volunteer to do Olivia again, and then if we have time, we have 2 more people that will do scenarios at the end. And so if you're interested in volunteering as Bridget goes through this first scenario, just put your name in the chat, and then we'll randomly pick people to do the second, third, and hopefully 4th scenario. So Olivia DeGaldo is a young woman who comes to your group meeting. So she could be a youth group at church, she could be your soccer team, she could be your concert, choir at anywhere. So it's just really a youth group that you are the organizer of. She's usually very involved in the meetings and activities, and she seems to enjoy herself. But recently, you have noticed as the group leader that she has been less responsive and she has been more withdrawn. And you've also seen a decline in her hygiene and her eating habits. So you are the group leader, and your objectives are to check in with her about this sudden change that you've noticed in her demeanor, display empathy for Olivia during this conversation Bridget's going to have with Olivia, and then offer her support and direct her to appropriate mental health resources. So that's the setup, just like a scenario that we do in mental health first aid training. That's our scenario that we're going to try today. And Bridget is going to be our volunteer that's going to talk to Olivia.
Thank you.
All right, before we bring Olivia on, we will go ahead and bring our host avatar on, and he's going to explain how the simulation works and how you interact with the avatars. So, Michael, are you available?
Hi there. Can you all hear and see me okay?
Yep.
Yep.
Great. So my name is Michael. I'm the host avatar. I'm just going to go over a few guidelines with you so you know how the simulation works, and then I can answer any questions if there are any. So first off, all you need to know to begin a simulation is you either have to say start or begin simulation. At that point, the avatar will appear on the screen, and once you see the avatar, you can begin. If at any point you feel like you're confused about something, or maybe you just don't know how to respond to something the avatar has said, you can say pause simulation. The avatar will leave the screen. You can take a moment to collect your thoughts, ask questions, anything you might need to do. And then when you're ready again, you can say resume simulation. The avatar will reappear and you can pick up right where you left off. There's no need to start over. And then finally, when the interaction is finished, just make sure to say end or stop simulation, as this is the cue for the avatar to leave the screen. So once they hear that, they will turn off their camera, and then you can have a debrief with the group. Does that all make sense?
Yep.
Great. And then one final note, if for some reason you were to ask the avatar to do something that they cannot physically do, they will come up with an excuse. They'll say that they're not able to, or that they don't want to right now, something along those lines. And that's just your cue to know that whatever you're asking can't be done. So you should move along. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Great. Then if there are any questions, I can answer those now, or if you're ready, I can take you into the simulation.
Doesn't look like we have any questions. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any questions. I think we're ready.
Okay, give me one moment.
Start.
Hello, can you see me?
Yeah. Hey, Olivia, it's nice to see you. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm doing okay. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was okay, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that you were able to come and back into youth group today. It's nice to see you. So your Thanksgiving was okay?
Um, yeah, it was, it was Thanksgiving, so my family was all stressed out and stuff. But it was okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the the sorry, I'm going to change my speaker mode here or multi-speaker here for
Okay.
the audience. One moment. Sorry. Um, there we go. Is that better for the audience?
No, we have to do it on our machines, Bridget.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
that's okay. But it's nice because it puts the two of you right up there at the top.
Oh,
Instead of
gotcha.
having to Kick you out of.
Gotcha. Sorry, Olivia, hold that thought. Um, well, Olivia, I know holidays can sometimes be stressful, especially for families when you get together like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How have things been otherwise?
Um, I guess okay. Not a whole lot new going on.
Yeah, yeah, not a whole lot new going on. I've noticed that I haven't seen you here at youth group as much as you used to be.
Oh, yeah, I've been really tired lately. So yeah, I missed a couple, but I still really like it.
Yeah, yeah, you've been tired feeling lately?
Um, yeah, kind of like just there's a lot going on. And so yeah, I had to miss a couple.
Yeah, yeah. Do you mind if I ask what's going on? What a lot is going on?
Um, well, my parents have been fighting a lot, and so I don't know. I haven't really felt like myself, and I needed like a break. So I just didn't come for a few nights.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to kind of step away from everything for a while, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. I know that's a lot. You know, my parents actually divorced, and I know that that was a lot to have to go through. Have you talked to anybody about that?
Um, no, my parents they they just told me the other day that they were probably gonna get divorced, so I'm um still kind of figuring out what to do. But I don't want to like be a burden on them because they might not get divorced, and if I don't want to like make them feel bad or anything.
Pause simulation. All right, I wanted to pause and just kind of put it out to the group. Anybody want to offer me up a suggestion about what to say next here to Olivia?
Well, first of all, wonderful communication skills. I love the fact that you mirrored her statement when it came to being tired lately. When she said that, it encouraged her to continue and actually tell you why she was late. You asked permission in order to talk about the topic with that, and then from there, maybe because you know now it's possibly going to be a divorce, talk about, I mean, you mentioned yourself and your personal experience how common that is, and maybe have other kids in her class or grade or school have gone through something, so she doesn't feel so alone that it, uh, it's quite common in the United States, and kind of makes it not feel so scary when
Yeah.
you have other people having gone through similar. It's one thing for an adult to do it, but it's different when you can relate it to the other peers.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
I also think that maybe instead of telling her that it's not her fault, asking her why she feels it would be her fault or her burden to take on, to kind
Mhm.
of understand what she's thinking on that aspect of, is this her fault?
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah, thank you for all the suggestions. I appreciate it. And thank you for those in the chat box also.
Yeah, I just saw Julia, so you'll have to eventually circle around back to the sleep aspect, and that's definitely encouraging, self-help and all of that. So, yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Okay, we can go ahead and resume then. Resume simulation. Start. So Olivia, so you shared that you hadn't really talked to anybody about this yet. Do you know that our youth group actually has the pastor leads something called Banana Splits group, and it's actually kind of a nice group that I know a lot of kids here go to. Parents who have kids, who have parents who are going through divorce or who have gotten divorce. Is that something that you would be maybe interested in learning a little bit more about?
Um, I think maybe. Um, I don't know though. I really don't want to like stress my parents out because they're already really stressed.
Yeah, I know it feels like so much stress they're already going through, and you don't want to have to add more to that. I wonder,
Yeah.
do you think it'd be beneficial at all if maybe I joined you and maybe talked with them about it, maybe gave them some information too, and talked with you guys together? Is that something you'd be open
Um,
to?
y- Maybe. Yeah, I think that might be good.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much for talking with me. We're certainly going to talk more, but I'm going to end now.
Okay.
Thank you. And that was a rather abrupt end, but more for time's sake. But yeah, so thank you guys for helping me out with that. I appreciate it. Waiting for giving some feedback there. I think one of the interesting things with getting to do this that I love so much is in the evaluations when we do mental health first aid trainings, people consistently say they want more time to practice the skills. We do offer the scenarios, we do have time to practice, but this is such a cool way to get to do this more and really a little bit more in depth, which I love so much. Thank you for walking through that with me. And I think that, we talked a little bit about what went well. Anybody else want to share maybe specifically those steps of algae that you saw? And thank you for putting that up on the screen.
I think um I feel like she should have been encouraged to speak to the parents.
Mhm.
Sometimes kids are afraid to speak to the kid or the parents because they're afraid to stress them out and afraid to make things worse. And then these
Yeah,
kids hold to these things and these feelings and these emotions and don't get them out. And then the
mhm.
parents don't know what are going on. And then it makes the situation worse. So I feel like she should have been encouraged to speak to the parents about how she felt about the situation, or just to
Yeah,
encourage parents to better explain the situation to her so that she could feel more comfortable.
yeah, yeah. Kind of encouraging her to open that communication up a bit with mom and dad. Yeah, that if the first aider could be in that role to help facilitate that communication. Yeah, that's great, Caroline. Thank you. Amanda, how about you? I see your
Yeah, I'm
hand.
just wondering if it might be helpful to say something along the lines of, I have two sons and I know they've shared with me that when they're really worried about things or, thinking about things that sometimes it can be really hard to talk to me as their parent.
Mhm.
Um, are there things that could maybe ease that for you? Because, my boys and I have had that conversation. We've come up with some strategies that we try. I don't want
Mhm.
to overstep and give like advice or try to like steal from her story, but I also want to, you know, give the example that that's pretty common for a lot of young people to feel like really nervous or scared or frustrated in talking with their parents or guardians.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a great kind of practical tip too on way to help that. And Joy, you pointed out, thank you, Amanda. Joy, you pointed out in the chat box about, yeah, certainly further assessment for safety is indicated. There's it's a rather abrupt end there. More so for time's sake, but yeah, absolutely. I think further assessment because she's not sleeping well. You know, she's got some warning signs there, or she has some concerning signs of some challenging behaviors happening and different changes. So, and Shauna, so I'm seeing, yeah, I know it was cut short for time. I see the middle three, the LGE. Much differently than the first aider saying I would do say XYZ. Yeah, I think, yeah, Pat, absolutely. It's nice to be able to put into words and have a flowing conversation to see what this actually looks like in real life. Because that's where we're going to get build the confidence up to actually do this stuff, right? When we're with people. Yeah, D, the not sleeping, yeah, kind of working, kind of digging in a little bit deeper about the not sleeping piece. Absolutely. It needs further assessment for sure. Good. Yeah, thank you for that feedback. So we're gonna give somebody an opportunity now. And it looks like I saw two volunteers earlier to walk through Olivia again and kind of finish this conversation, not finish the conversation, but have the conversation again with Olivia. And a lot of what we talked about here, we can actually implement and see in implementation. I saw Pace had volunteered, and who else did we see volunteer? I saw somebody else. I'm just scrolling down through my notes here.
Amanda and Carolyn, I had. And
Okay.
if you guys want to volunteer, you can also put your name in the chat.
Oh, I see, and Amanda too. Okay. Carolyn, do you mind, Carolyn? Now that you've seen it, are you still good with that?
Yeah.
All right. So then we'll wait for the well, Julie, there's more people coming, so hang tight. Yeah, you're not off the hook yet. Because we have some different scenarios too, but I think it'll be good to get to see Olivia again. And then, Carolyn, you can kind of dig a little deeper also with her, and kind of implement those other steps of algae maybe that we hadn't, discussed. So I think at this point, what needs to happen is you just have to say start simulation. And I think, we get Olivia back.
Okay. Start.
Hi
Do
there,
I
can you
start?
see me?
I can see you. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How was your holiday?
Um, it was good. I got to see like my extended family, and that was fun. But my parents were kind of stressed the whole time.
Yeah, holidays can be stressful for the parents sometimes, but that's okay. Did they have a good time?
I think so.
Well, good. That's all that matters then in the end that you guys had a good time. How are you feeling?
Um, I'm feeling good.
Okay. Well, are you planning on coming to church this Wednesday?
Oh, uh, I think so. I have to see if I can get a ride from my dad. My mom and dad, they've kind of been like uh I don't know, I guess really stressed out, and they couldn't find someone to give me a ride. But I think I'll be here, yeah.
Okay. Well, if you ever need a ride, we can always pick you up to help with that, to help your parents too. You seem like you're a little worried about your parents being stressed out. Are you okay?
Oh, I guess, yeah. Just I don't know. I'm kind of worried because they've been fighting a lot, and I don't know.
By fighting, what do you mean? Like arguing over stuff, or is it getting bad? Do you need somebody?
No, they're just like arguing a lot and um like like last week I wasn't able to come to youth group because they both were working and I said I needed a ride and they got in a fight over who was gonna give me a ride and like who works more and stuff and I don't know. I didn't want to come because I didn't want them to fight again.
I understand that. Parents, sometimes it's hard and it's difficult, but just because they're in a rough spot right now doesn't mean that it's your fault or that you have to feel guilty over it. If you need a ride, we can always give you a ride. We can always help. You don't have to be alone.
I know. I'm trying not to do anything to like make them fight.
And I understand that, but what are you afraid of causing the fight? Why do you think that you would cause a fight?
Well, like when I needed a ride and they didn't know who was gonna take me.
Yeah, and that's stressful, but that's not your fault. It's not that you did something wrong in that situation. It's just as parents and working and trying to figure out who's going to do what, it can be stressful, but you shouldn't stress over that because it's not your fault.
I guess, yeah.
Do you think that if we set up rides for you to make it easier, you would be able to come and less stressed for yourself?
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
And you would like to come?
Yeah,
We can definitely set up rides for you so that's less stress for mom and dad and less stress on you.
that would be perfect because then they wouldn't have to fight over who was gonna take me.
Yeah, it takes one little thing off of their bucket and then one less thing you have to worry about. So, do you want to plan to come next Wednesday?
Sure, I guess.
Okay. You seem unsure. You sure? Is everything else okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm just still, worried about my parents and stuff. I really don't want them to get a divorce.
They're getting a divorce. Well,
No, I don't want them to.
okay. Well, I mean, it happens in life. People do get divorced. Kids have parents that get divorced all the time, but it's not that it's your fault or that you did anything wrong. It's just sometimes things don't work out for people. But have you talked to your parents about it?
No, I really don't want to make them like more stressed.
And I understand that, but at the same time, you're stressing out over it. So maybe it would be a good idea to talk to them.
Um, I guess.
It's okay if you don't want to, but you should talk to somebody about it so that you can have a little better understanding of yourself.
Um, yeah, I
Would
guess
you like
so.
somebody?
What?
Would you like to talk to a counselor or somebody or one of the staff members at church?
Um, I guess so. Yeah, I have been kind of feeling really sad about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you shouldn't feel alone during this time. You should have somebody you can talk to about this. So we can set up for somebody to talk to you before or after church on Wednesday.
Okay,
Does this sound like a good deal?
I guess so. Yeah.
All right. And
All right, great job. Great
that's
job on.
definitely when you're doing it yourself.
It is, it is. But it kind of helps you see, like it's real life scenario though, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
stuff you might be up against. And you have an audience, which makes it a little more complicated, but no, you did fabulous. What did you guys see? And Carolyn, you can chime in as well. What did you see those steps of algae that Carolyn executed there so well? Great reassuring tone. Absolutely.
Yeah, her tone was really good, reassuring her about even getting a ride or getting her still back to to church, and then offering her advice on, well, offering her other resources,
Yeah.
once she got there, but also letting her know that, you know, sometimes adults, they deal with difficult situations and that it's not her fault. But I think I would have kind of even pushed a little bit more with, about talking to her parents, sort of like talking to someone that might be thinking about suicide, because the parents may also need someone to talk to, or even want to, or trying to figure out how to let her know. And I think that would kind of break the ice maybe and open up the door for all of them to have the conversation that needs to be had. But it might even be reassuring to her that if she opens up that door, that they may they may talk also, and she may find out that it's not as bad as she thinks that it is. Because until she actually talks to someone, whether she's talking to someone for herself or talking to the parents, because she still won't know what the parents' real feelings or thoughts or what their actions are, but just really trying to get her to really just talk to your parents.
Yeah.
And if she needs a mediator talking to her parents, I still think that conversation just needs to be had.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, thank you, Tyria. I think that first daters are in they're so well positioned, especially working with youth in particular, to be that facilitator and to be that, that bridge between the parents and the youth, in order to help have some of those, conversations that the youth do not want to have with their parents, that they feel uncomfortable with, that they feel unprepared for. And, like you said, Tyria, may very well be a great catalyst to getting mom and dad some support that they need also, that they haven't asked for. So yeah, absolutely. Carolyn, is there anything you would do if when you see Olivia again, if you're in that situation again, is there anything you would do differently next time?
Um, yes, I don't know quite what yet, but I guess my question is, so, and I agree, like the pushing her to talk to her parents is a good idea for so they can communicate and open up and, get rid of this bubble that's blocking everything. But I guess what I was trying to figure out when I was talking to her is where does it go from suggesting to speak to her parents about this stuff to giving her advice and
Mhm.
pushing her too far? Because it's like she acted like she didn't want to speak to the parents. She was unsure of that. So then it's like, well, do I tell her, well, I know that you're unsure of it. I know that you don't feel comfortable, but you should do it. Or do I just kind of like let it subside and come back to it and just repeat the statement? That part I'm not sure about.
You know, one of the things that I was thinking as you're speaking, Caroline, is that sometimes asking, do you have a friend? Do you know anybody else or friends that have had parents that have been divorced? And so that might even open up just another opportunity for her to share, whether that was a bad divorce or whatever she knows about divorce. Because I have been recently divorced, and I have grown children, but the it's still we kind of had a difficult time going through it. And what I've learned, and I'm grateful for the whole process, was that the first and it took much prayer, and just trying to understand what um, the children were feeling, even though they are adult children. They're in their 20s, 27, 28, but it still affected them. But what I realized in my prayer time and what was brought to me was that I think it's the word divorce. And this might help a lot of people on this whole call, because I think it was the whole word divorce, because I really feel that everyone that has heard that word before probably knows someone that has had a divorce, and they instantly think back about, and it probably was a bad divorce, and mine to me was not. However, we know it could be traumatic for some folks, and trauma is very individualized. However, um, it was the word divorce. But when I had gone to the first divorce attorney's office, before I could meet with the attorney, they sat me in a room and just talked to me about different ways to end a marriage. And when I tell you, my aha moment was listening to the video and said that, and heard the words end the marriage. So I think when I brought that back to my family, let's not use the word divorce. Let's just talk about what we're doing here. We're really ending our marriage, because divorce could mean so many things for so many people. But when we talk more about and using the language, since we're changing language anyway throughout this whole process, but ending the marriage, we're not ending our friendship. We're not like, we're just going to not be married anymore. And so I think that was um, an easier conversation to have, I think, with everybody, and even a better understanding as to what's happening. Because again, divorce, it was almost like me hearing cancer. And when we hear cancer, the other thing that I used to hear when as a young person was chemotherapy. So they went hand in hand, kind of like you hear bacon, you hear eggs. Like, so there were some things that kind of went hand in hand. However, when I was dealing with cancer with my mom, and it was told to us, I had no idea how chemotherapy was given. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know. So those things you hear and you kind of know, but again, that word divorce, I think is so hard, because one of my sons had a friend that had been divorced, and theirs was real ugly. Dad had another kid. He had another wife. There's just all kinds of things was going on. So I think in my son's mind, it was thinking, oh my gosh, is this happening to my mom and dad? Is this what they're going through? When our situation was not like that at all. So I think for, in a child standpoint, or for a child, it's easier if we kind of use the language, we're just going to end our marriage. So that helped me. I hope that helps goo gobs of people that's even on this call. Yeah, thanks, Pace. But I think that that might be an easier way of even just changing the language. And that word divorce can be so hard for people.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, certainly, you know, the words we choose matter, right? And we know that. And that's a lot of what we talk about in, you know, as first aiders. And thank you, Pace, too, for bringing up, you know, I think that's, you know, the importance of asking more questions about school, about friendships, about different hobbies, different areas of how it might be affecting her life.
I
Carolyn,
still
were you
want,
saying something?
Bridget, I
Oh,
want to,
please, go ahead. Yeah.
I do think asking about those other domains is important. But I want to go back to the question that Carolyn had about would it be appropriate to push her to talk to her parents? We don't know what's happening with her parents. It could be that she brings it up if they're fighting, encouraging her to talk to her parents when we don't know that there's somebody else there or a neutral, safe location could not go well. So and also, of course, in mental health first aid, we don't really want to give advice. So I might explore, why is it that she doesn't want to talk to her parents, or would she want to talk to one or another? But I think we need to encourage her to have somebody aside from her parents as well to talk.
Yeah. I think that's good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And Carolyn, if you want to give us some last words on this one, and then I do want to give everybody a chance. We're going to have an opportunity to do another simulation. I think Julie you had volunteered as well for our next one. But Carolyn, do you want to?
Yeah, you
Listen.
asked me what I would do different, and after listening to everybody's comments, I kind of know what I would do different now. First thing is, I liked that they said to maybe take it a little slower. Obviously, we were on time limit with stuff, but take it slower, give her a moment to just be silent, to think on it, and then come back to it. The other thing is, I didn't think about the divorce word, but that is, you know, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I feel like a lot of us, we hear divorce, we think separation forever.
Yeah.
You know, this family member is going to be gone. This family member is going to be gone. My holidays are split. My friends are split and moving. So I do like that idea too. So maybe backtrack on, well, what scares you so much about the divorce? Like, what is it about a divorce that it's got you worried, or freaked out or scared and stuff? So I think that's what I would do different, is maybe just reround on why she's scared of the divorce.
Yeah, and it's
I don't know if you saw it in the chat, Bridget, Kathy Oakland, just adding to the end of what Carolyn said too, just pursuing what she does when mom and dad are fighting. I think that's important too. Like what are you doing? Is she alone? Is she so that's, is she isolated? That was really good, Kathy. And she threw that in there, Bridget, as you were closing and asking Caroline what she would do different. But I think that what Kathy just put in the chat was just awesome. And determining again whether she feels that she needs professional help. Again, validating her feelings and sharing, and predicting what she might do the next time the fights are starting. So yeah, I think trying to understand, where is she, what is she doing? Yeah, that's really good. Coupled with what you said, Caroline. I think that all of that is just great now. So we're the end. Yeah, that's good.
Great job. Great job on that one. Thank you. And then I think Julia, thank you so much, Carolyn, for doing that. And Julie, I think, next, this is Colleen. I'm going to go ahead and read Colleen's story. And then, Julie, if you still feel like this is a good fit, and you want to give this do some practicing here, we will invite you to do so. So Colleen Hart is your family member who has been living in an assisted living community since suffering a minor stroke about a month ago. Before the stroke, Colleen was very active and independent, but she has been unable to live the way she used to since. Her inability to live how she wants has taken a toll on her mental health. So again, here we have, this is our family member, and she's just recently been admitted to an assisted living, had a stroke. So she's noticing some changes in the way she's getting around in life. So we want to kind of find out how she's adjusting to this change. We want to offer her some support and kind of check in on that mental health, health of hers as well. So Julie, does this still seem like one you want to practice?
Sure.
All right. So I think all you need to do then, and thank you very much, all you need to do again is just say start when you're ready.
Okay, start simulation. Hi, Colleen.
Hi.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
How are things going since I saw you last time?
Oh, they're all right, I suppose.
All right.
It's a bit lonely here.
You're feeling lonely here.
Yeah, I feel like I can't really do the things I normally do or see the people I normally see.
Yeah, you've had a pretty big change in just going from being independent and now being in the assisted living, feeling like you haven't been able to do the things you want to do or see the people you would normally see.
No, I haven't been able to really leave for
Mm,
the first few weeks.
Okay, you haven't been able to leave for the first few weeks. Is that, have you been able to have any kind of visitors or found any activities to do at with the residents here?
Oh, my son visited me once, but he's been a bit busy, and
Mm,
um I I've tried a few things that the other residents are doing, but I don't know. I don't feel up to it.
mm. Like you feel tired or you feel something else?
She was looking.
Tired, yes.
Where are you
Tired.
looking? Are you looking at your daddy? Where's your daddy?
So you're just feeling tired? Are you feeling um kind of lonely too? And sounds like you just don't quite seem like yourself. You sound a little down. Are you feeling a little down?
Yes, I suppose I am. It's just I used to do so much, um and now I can't garden, or I can't go to the coffee shop, and I haven't seen my friends in what feels like a very long time. It's
Uh,
just I do not like this place.
okay.
I
Have you been
feel restricted.
restricted? Yeah, that's a big change. And that's a lot to experience all at once. How have you been sleeping? Sometimes our sleep is so affected by stress.
I haven't been sleeping very well.
Okay. Man, I know myself when I'm not sleeping, that just compounds how I'm feeling too. If I'm already feeling low or tired, like that really can just make things even harder, huh?
Yeah, I feel like I don't have energy, and I was
Mm,
already um pretty low on energy.
yeah. What about eating? Have you been getting some energy from eating at all around here?
Oh, I haven't been all that hungry.
Mm, yeah. It sounds like it's probably all kind of combining together, being tired, not sleeping, not having energy from not eating too much, and now not having an appetite there either. Is there anything you've tried that has been helpful at all?
Um, not not really. I've
Mm,
um been, I guess, a bit hesitant to leave my room.
hmm. Feeling hesitant. What's the hesitancy about leaving your room, do you think?
I just I don't like it here, and I don't know. I would rather stay in my room.
Hmm. You're feeling lonely, but you still want to stay in the room.
Yes.
Have you met anyone that you would try maybe talking to a little bit, or that you would be interested in at least having them come visit?
Um. Well, there was one woman who was leading the knitting class that seemed nice.
Oh, a knitting class. That sounds interesting. I always wanted to learn to knit.
Yeah, I thought about doing it, but I wasn't sure if I'd be able to hold the needles.
Mm. I wonder if that's something you could talk with your physical therapist or your occupational therapist about, being able to work toward a goal like that.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that being one of our goals, but I suppose I could.
Hmm. Yeah, that might be something to try. And then maybe you get a chance to talk with or join that kind of knitting circle. Like that might be one way to get a little activity in. Yeah.
That would be nice.
Okay. Well, sometimes I know when I'm feeling really down, like sometimes it's just helpful to have someone to talk to. So I know they have a really good social worker here, and she's
Mhm.
able to connect with maybe a counselor. Would that ever be something you might be interested in?
Oh, I don't know. I had never really thought of that before.
Hmm. I found it to be really helpful when I'm just, like you said, feeling down, having trouble sleeping. Those are times when it's been helpful for me to talk to a counselor. If you want, I can connect you with a social worker and they can maybe share some ideas about how to connect with a counselor and then maybe some other kind of informal self care things that you might be able to do. How would that sound?
That might be good.
Okay.
Julie, do you want to, just for time, do you want to stop the,
Yeah, I'm like, whatever you
just say
want.
end. There you go.
And
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, you did a great job. Let's round of applause for Julie. You did fabulous. Lots of love in the chat box. You did great, Julie. If you did not see that, very personable and kind. You do a great job getting that as those assessment pieces without, without forcing it. But what did we see in terms of those algae steps that were demonstrated there? What did we see? What were those? What steps did we get to see done so well from Julie? Definitely saw some empathy. Yeah.
Well, she listened non-judgmentally.
Yeah. Yes, very much so.
Yeah, and she gave some reassuring information,
Mhm.
um, that, even though she's where she is, things can get better.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think, for me, and I haven't done this with the simulator, it just seems like, And I've had these same experiences in nursing homes with family members. But I think that as she started, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I see how important the relationship is with the individual. And so your relationship, having a relationship with that individual would actually help the conversation, Julie. And so again, I just think that you and Carolyn like are doing a great job because it is a assimilation. But I think when we would remember that these are real people and this would be a real relationship that we have, I think our conversation would be even more natural because I was thinking about the conversation I would have with her, and I'm more of a, she sounded sad starting off. And so I would probably be that person that's kind of adding a little bit of pick me up, even starting off. Well, you say you're lonely here and stuff. What would you do if you went home? Or if we could take you out of here? Can we go down the hall and can we do something else? Like I was trying to think of how I would pick up her 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 mood, because her mood was just so humdrum. But I was trying to figure out what part is the simulated part of her or which part is the real person here, or is there a real person or something behind this. So I think I would have kind of tried to beef it up a little bit, but I would have wanted to see if she was able to go outside, if we could even walk down to either where they eat, kind of see the facility even with her for yourself, so that she kind of knows what else is there, what else she could be doing, noticing about the knitting. And so there were some things that I
Yeah.
kind of thought, but I just kind of thought, gosh, it's so humdrum. I just want to pick it up. I want to pick up the conversation and kind of go like, come on, what would you do if you got to go home?
And
And
I'll
then I
just
would
say,
also have asked what the doctors have said, as far as her being released or coming home or what that looks like. So I probably would have asked those questions too.
I
But yeah,
definitely, I just want to throw in like, as you know, my thought process for that was really like, my understanding of first aid is really, it's about the, not like offering up like a bunch of solutions or like kind of trying to like fix the problem, but really trying to go in with like meeting the person where they are. And so instead of trying to like push them into like a better mood, for example, like my understanding, and I would love like support or correction around this. Like my understanding is that it's really about not trying to make someone feel better, but really trying to um, build a like a bridge for them to reach out to get support and connection. And I'd be open
I
to
think
like the
true.
facilitators kind of clarifying that too.
I think it's true, but I think it's more like you have to know the balance between let's get her in a mood where she's going to actually want to communicate with us and
Hmm.
let's become BFFs while
Hmm.
trying to help you. So I think if we find that medium of let's lighten the situation so she's more likely to be willing to open up, and then we can move into the serious stuff of
yeah.
how can we do on a mental level or on a support level, stuff like that.
Building
Hmm.
that relationship is going to be the bridge to getting the information that you need. You don't even have to, you won't even have to like say a whole bunch. If you build the right relationship with someone, it will open up
For
that
sure.
door for them
For
to just
sure.
talk. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julie, thank you so much for saying that, because I think that you very well could have the
Wow.
same, I'm guessing there's other people that have that same feeling and that same kind of, perspective of it. And I think that it is true. And I think the other is true too. I think that they're both true. I think it really just depends on the person. And that's what we do when we're assessing. We're assessing, what is that unmet need, that they have in this moment. And taking a word from Amanda Hampton there, that unmet need. And that's what we fulfill for them. If it is that they need to be just lifted, have the, if we can offer that solution right then and there, then we'll do that. If they just need a listening ear right now, then we'll do that. If we can get them reconnected with past supports, then that's what we do. So it really kind of comes down to we're assessing that individual need at the time of what what it is that is unmet. So hopefully that kind of helps clarify, what is our lane, right? Where do we stay in our lane? But great, that's great feedback. Would you do anything? Oh, Carolyn, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like with that statement, I think it also plays a role on like who the support person is, because everybody has their different personalities. So like I have a coworker who she's the happy one. She comes in the room, she makes jokes, everybody lightens up. And then I come in the room and I'm the one that if they're upset, I'm like consoling them, like, oh, it's okay. And so I think based off of your personality also and how you are also can help with how you approach people too. Because if you're more of a joking person or you're more of a light, happy, laughing person, it's going to be easier for you to present that way to somebody. And then if you're more of a calm, let me just listen to you, and then make a little comment here and there, it's going to work for you. So I feel like both ways help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think again, it comes down to, it's that genuineness, right? We have to be genuine, and be true to ourselves. Speak, use language and tone that's true to you, that's genuine to yourself. And we will, by being our sheer presence alone for people that are in distress, is so incredibly important. And so, the words we say are almost the afterthought, when it comes down to the fact that, because the reality is just being there and letting somebody know that I'm here. I may be clunky, I may be saying things that aren't exactly what you need to hear right now, but the fact is I'm here, and that shows a lot, right? That I care. So, but I think that's a great point, because that's what we do as first aiders. We show up, and we do, we do the best that we can, at the time. And so I think that's a good reminder though as well. And it looks like we had a question from Pat that I think, but thank you, Carolyn, so much. I think you did a great job on that. Pat, I see your question about asking about the actual avatar, and I'm gonna just put a pause on that for just 1 second. I'm gonna ask Pace
That was Julie. That was Julie.
I think Pace was gonna ask, were you gonna ask something, Pace?
You
or
thank
no?
Caroline again for that avatar for
Oh,
work
I'm
with.
sorry.
That was Julie.
Caroline, thank you very much. Caroline, you're getting like double love here. The Julie, thank you to you.
I didn't even. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
My hand
Pace,
accidentally,
it's
it was an accidental hand raise.
there. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, then. Beth, would you mind answering Pat's question regarding how the simulation works? She had
Sure.
a question.
Yeah, it is not AI. We do get that a lot. It is, it's a mixed reality simulation. And so we do actually have a live simulation specialist behind the avatars. That was Jared. He introduced himself at the very beginning. He can't come on the screen while he's in the software, but we do have simulation specialists, human simulation specialists behind the avatars. So they're seeing the interactor, they're hearing it, so it's live and responsive.
Great, thank you. And
So,
if you
Are
go
they
ahead.
typing the answers?
No, they're talking.
They're
And then
talking.
voice modulator. There's actually an Xbox controller. And so they're controlling the motions and the dialogue of the avatars.
Wow.
It is so cool. Well, I think, Janet, do you want to wrap us up here, just because we're getting close to time and we want to be mindful of everybody's time, but it sounds like what I'm seeing here is we need more of these. So I'm so excited for the enthusiasm, because what we'd like to do is have instructors invite learners, because boy, what an awesome opportunity to keep the learning going and keep the enthusiasm going and help equip first aiders with the tools to be able to really feel like they can get out there and do this stuff. So Janet, if you want to.
Yeah, and big round of applause for our volunteers. That's scary to do that in front of all these people. So like, you guys did an awesome job. Love it that you were so brave to do that today. Beth put a QR code up on the screen. If you guys could take a picture of that, fill out a very short survey, that will let us know, what did you think? And was it helpful? And was it, just your thoughts? So appreciate everybody coming today. It's 12:59, so we'll leave the QR code up for you guys to do the survey. If anybody has any last words of wisdom, and unmute yourself, and we'll go out and with one more minute of having you guys give us the feedback about what you thought.
I did also post the link for the survey in the chat if that's easier to access. And I know we had a lot of help like with marketing for this and sending this information out. If you didn't register, or if we don't have your contact information and you want to get our follow-up message, if you want to just send me an email, I'll post my email in the chat. We can make sure that we get you on our follow-up message.